It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
My friend Joshua was just letting me know that this is only his second podcast ever.
Which
It is.
blows my mind because you're a funny individual that has dipped more than just your toes in the entertainment industry on different types of platforms, right? Like music, improv. I mean, like, do you act as well?
I mean, I act like I act, but like the only real acting I've done is improv. So aside from like school plays, like back in elementary school. No, wait, I did do for 4 years in a row. I was in one act plays in high school, and I rocked that. But
Ooh, I love
that's
the confidence.
That's all I did. But yeah, I mean, I listen to podcasts all the time, and I have many friends that do podcasts. But I don't know. I just never was on it. Never like
Well,
searched
welcome.
for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
While
you.
we're at
we
it,
searched you out.
let's welcome the baddies to the episode. Baddies, welcome to another episode of ICBTB podcast, also known as It Can't Be That Bad. We are finally, after a long time, doing a movie episode because we have a good friend of ours, Josh Wolf, who is an Arnold Schwarzenegger connoisseur, or how would you label yourself?
Savant.
I mean, at one time in my life, I would say a disciple. I was deep. The well went deep.
Did you stop after him and Maria Shriver broke up?
No, it just got more interesting.
Hell yeah. Because did you see that maid?
Yeah, I mean, it's. Have you seen the picture of him with his kid? His kid's huge.
Yeah.
I can only imagine those genetics, and if the kid came out small, that would be a wrong kid.
Have you seen his kids with Maria Shriver? They don't look like his kids.
No.
What?
Because maybe Maria wasn't being too...
She was doing a little something now.
I don't know what,
I know.
but like I'm just saying, like as far as like the genetic combo of the perfection of him and the maid, like it just seemed like this is God's work kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
It's a perfect body.
yeah,
Perfect
his
body.
kid's huge.
And no accent.
Well, I mean, I would imagine accents don't.
It skips a generation.
Yeah, if I had gotten my parents' accent right out the womb, if I was able to talk as a baby right out the womb, okay, I don't want to go into that rabbit hole. I do want to talk about you a little bit more.
No one was even going except for you.
He saw the end, and it's
I knew what
that.
that direction was already like. Before actually even meeting you, I had seen you in pictures. That sounds creepy. Let me back this up because I was friends of your friends before actually getting to meet you.
Okay,
Because
gotcha.
Jeremy Dorado, shout out to Jeremy Dorado, he would always talk about you. You guys are great friends. Even like the last time I came down to Hollywood, we made time. I
Yes.
mean, we came and
Yes.
saw you.
Yes.
That what I knew about you is that you were infamous for throwing something called Arnold Fest.
Yes. That's what's in the special bag here.
Wow.
So yeah, like I said, my love for Arnold was from a very early age. I was, probably, I'm trying to remember, maybe like 5 or 6 when I clocked my first Arnold film, like realized like this man is amazing.
And what movie was it?
It was probably Twins.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think.
Danny DeVito.
My first movie that I saw, that or Kindergarten Cop, like that era.
Nice.
Yep.
I remember specifically choosing to dislike Jell-O because Arnold's character in Kindergarten Cop was like, I hate
hates it.
Jell-O.
Yeah.
I hate Jell-O. And I was like, I hate Jell-O.
I also hate Jello.
I also hate Jell-O. Funny thing. Wow,
Wow, we
coincidence.
have so much in common, Arnold.
But yeah, like really early on, loving Arnold, and it just kind of kept evolving a little further into like owning more of his movies and watching more. And I don't remember what triggered in my brain, like, we need to have an Arnold Fest. I think it was like you're so intense. No. It was something of like we watched, like I was with my friend Peter, and who was another, like they're the architects of Arnold Fest. So myself, my friend Peter. Jeremy eventually became one of the triumvirate, but like at first it was just him and I. And I think it was like we were watching some Arnold movies, and I realized like I didn't own Commando or something. Like there's a couple others, so it was like, well, let's go down to Fry's and like go pick it up. And I was there, and I was like, oh, look, Red Heat. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Oh, hey, Raw Deal. And we just went down the list, and I went to the counter with about 30 Arnold films.
30.
Somewhere around
30?
Yes,
Really?
yes. And I was trying to keep a straight face because they're all Arnold films. I was just thinking of the cashier, just like, oh, an Arnold film. another
another-
film. Oh, another.
She
Oh
has
my
to
God, they are all
individually
Arnold
scan them.
Yeah, cash, please. But yeah, we did, and the way it worked is, I got a pamphlet here too. Is that we
films.
would
Is this a
watch?
ticketed event? Like this seems
Yeah.
very.
I'll get into it. The first year it was very low key. This pamphlet I'll save actually was like year 2 or 3. So year 1 we just were like, we're gonna watch these films in chronological order, starting with Hercules in New York, which is his
beautiful.
Incredible. Dubbed or like with real Arnold voice or with a fake guy's voice?
We first, when we watched it, we watched with the fake Arnold voice, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, this is funny, I guess, but like we want to hear Arnold's voice.
Just ruin the English language.
Raw. It's so raw.
Have you seen Hercules in New York?
I've seen clips. of
Okay.
Hercules.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been given the opportunity to
It's
sit down
so
and watch
good.
it.
Oh my God,
It's so
Pretzi
good.
is maybe the
Oh.
best character in cinema history.
He's like some kind of Woody Allen knockoff of some sort.
And the best part about Pretzi, I'm sorry that
No,
we're
that's
keeping
fine.
cutting it out, but at the end of the movie, he just like shrugs his shoulders and goes back to his normal life. Like all this crazy shit happens to him. He literally meets Greek gods, and then he's just like, back to selling pretzels at the beach or wherever the fuck he's selling
Pretzi,
them.
the pretzel.
He's a pretzel
maker?
salesman. Yeah.
Really? Pretzel salesman is like the highest esteemed title for it.
Well, in New York, that was a valid job until the
it was
90s.
Wow.
That movie is so good. There's like a scene where Arnold's like at a cafeteria and like seeing like food behind glass you got to pay for, and he's like, so much food for so few coins. Like he's trying to like say these lines. You could tell he was like with a coach right before the take.
Oh.
And it's just say it again. Okay, just say it one more time. Another. Okay, let's just film now. Film now. He's ready. It's as best it'll get.
He also fights a bear,
Yeah,
bear?
which you
Well,
can
it's
like see the zipper.
yeah, it's a person in a suit.
Yeah, you can like see the zipper on the back of this bear's suit.
Stop. It's that like low budget.
Yeah,
This
well,
was
I mean,
like late 60s.
Yeah.
I think.
This was his first gig, right? Like coming here, someone was
Right.
like, "You're massive.
Right.
We're gonna put you in front of a camera."
Yeah,
As
you're
Hercules.
As Hercules.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, he didn't really get any more. He got gigs afterwards after Pumping Iron. Was that what it
Yeah,
was?
so like
Yeah.
I would say, and I would think about this a lot, like what are my essential Arnold films? And these are films that are like both good in a sense that like I think these are legitimately good films, but also good in like I love them so much I know they're bad, but I can't help but love them.
Uh-huh.
And
You're
I
in the
think
right place.
Pumping Iron is one of them. For both, like it has cheesy points, but also it is like a legitimately like enjoyable film to watch these guys in their own world, like playing psychological games on each other.
Uh-huh.
That's what I learned about that one. The way Arnold treats Lou Ferrigno is insane.
Oh yeah,
Like, like you can tell Lou is like already kind of self-conscious about himself because he had like glasses and was a nerd
Yeah.
growing up and shit
and
like
he
that.
also was partially deaf.
Yeah, and Arnold would be like, Lou, you're almost there, man. You almost got it.
Yeah.
You keep going, like you almost got it. And you can see Lou being like, fuck, man, like I don't
Right.
know what to I can't figure this out. If I remember correctly, part of Pumping Iron is based on a book.
Yeah, I never read the book, and I'm not even sure like how they made a film. I think they just kind of got the rights to the name or something.
Yeah, how did they make a documentary about a book?
In the
don't
credits,
know.
it blew my mind when I saw that it's based on a book. The book Pumping Iron, but it's like, well, what parts? Is that like a biography on
yeah.
Arnold
The
Schwarzenegger?
title
Is
on the
it-
cover. It's based on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like that's about it. I guess.
This is incredible, man. I haven't
Yeah.
talked about Pumping Iron in a long time.
Pumping Iron is really cool. They hyped up a lot of like the antagonism between each other.
Yeah.
Like pranks were like kind of conceived before filming to like add to the drama because they kept thinking, well, if it's just us working out, there's no film. We got to do something to add some drama to it. But it ended up becoming, like we were saying with the Lou Ferrigno thing, like even though they knew they were going to have a scene, let's all sit down with your family and have lunch right before the big show, and I'll razz you.
Yeah.
But it was like real psychological razzing going on. He's like, yeah, in a few years, maybe 1 or 2, you'll be ready for it.
yep.
You know, it's just not your time. It's just not your time. I mean, we could do it today. We could do it tomorrow. I'll win every time. It's like, yeah, it was just so good.
And I would even say at that time, I think Lou Ferrigno did look a little bit better than Arnold. I think Lou's body.
He was huge.
Well, there was a section in time where I don't know. I feel like Arnold has always been in better shape than Lou Ferrigno, right?
Dude, when Lou was playing the Hulk.
Uh-huh. Of course. He was a big guy, but
He's
like
an-
Arnold was a little more shredded.
Yeah, but Arnold's also short. And like, you know, Arnold.
What's his height?
Well, Arnold's shorter. Arnold's 6'1". Although, like nowadays, he's probably like 5'11" or 5'10".
Yeah, the padding in between his vertebrae is...
They would always kind of fluff the numbers a little bit too.
For
like
sure,
how
he's wearing some pretty
how
tall
much they
boots.
weigh.
Yeah.
But I think Lou Ferrigno was probably like 6'6" or 6'7".
Lou
huge
Ferrigno's
guy.
a
big dude.
monster.
Big
yeah.
dude. If I'm being honest, I think the real, like the one who should have won was Franco Columbu.
Yes.
That dude is so cool. And you can see him throughout Arnold's career in films, even in Last Action Hero. there's like a little like Easter egg of him.
Really?
There's a lot of cameos in Last Action Hero.
That's We'll when we break into that, it's like an unbelievable like whirlwind. But anyway, so back to Arnold Fest. So we would watch the movies chronologically, and the whole idea was we're trying to watch all of Arnold's career and not go to sleep. Like there's no time to stop, and we'll pick it up because these are like something like 40 films.
Yeah.
So we're just So we're how many films? So we're gonna just keep watching, and someone's got to stay awake to be able to put that DVD in the player. And even if you just press play and go to sleep, that's fine. It has to keep going. Someone has to be the torchbearer.
It can't stop.
So yeah, for first year, I think I got up to T2. Which is like, if you think about his career, it's like, okay, like early 90s, but like that's about halfway into the, that's something where, you're probably on like 30 hours of being up. And I've been awake for over a day, but when you're awake and you're only watching movies, specifically Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, you lose your mind.
Oh, I'm sure.
You used to go through like, is this a real person? His face, like you ever seen like Total Recall where they have like the fake face, his eyes bulging out? Like Arnold's face, not even in Total Recall, just other films, like it starts to look like a leather glove. Like it's like, what am I looking at? Like you have to start doing tricks and like doing like other things to like keep yourself awake, because when you're only staring at Arnold movies, it's just like it's too hard.
And you're delirious. I mean, that's happened to me. When I've looked in the mirror long enough, like let's say I'm just drunk as shit, I'm looking in the mirror, you start looking at parts of like your face that you never observed, and you start thinking like, is this how other people see me? I can imagine that's what it was for you. You've looked at this man for 30 hours straight, and now you're observing like features like, whoa, I've never looked at his cheekbones like that.
That gap between his teeth is like a rabbit hole. You just dive into it. You just fall into it. And so like year 2 is, I think around then 2 or 3 is when we were like, let's get serious about this. Because that's also when I was like, not only getting into Arnold films, but like, I was like, oh, I'm going to start working out. Like I think I'm gonna like start listening to what Arnold has been saying.
Sure.
So I got this giant encyclopedia of bodybuilding that Arnold released. It's like, I don't know how many pages, probably close to 1,000. And obviously it has like his career, like highlights. It has like workout routines, and it has diet. And we're like, we're gonna follow this. So like this year we're gonna have weights. So while we're watching Arnold Fest, we're going to have weights around where you can like start exercising just to make it harder to try and stay awake, because now you're also tired.
So it was a challenge.
And we're going to try and do the Arnold diet while we're watching this movie. So like we prepped, we like went to, it was like a Safeway or something that was near my house at the time. And we tried to buy 3 days worth of the bodybuilding diet, which was like start off the day with like 5 eggs, 3 pieces of bacon, 2 pieces of toast, and like a bunch of seeds. It's like there's like 6 meals in the day.
Bunch of seeds.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous diet, and it finalized with the Arnold burger, which is like the base is a pound of ground beef, and it had like 4 eggs, something like 6 saltine crackers, an entire onion. It was so big. I tried cooking it on this Foreman grill, and it couldn't keep its form. It was like trying to flip it and just kept breaking. It was the size of a dinner plate.
Jesus
just
Christ.
Just the burger. No one could finish it. We all realized like we can't do this.
You guys had one burger each?
Yes.
Or like wow.
Yeah,
so you
we
guys
were
couldn't
trying to
even
cook.
share that burger.
Jeremy was the only person who could finish that burger.
I believe that.
And he came in hot right after like an Arcade Fire concert or something, completely sunburned. He came in like 3 films in. And I was like, this man is just like going for it. And he just starts eating. I've never been more impressed. But yeah, we made pamphlets. So this is the Arnold Fest pamphlet. It's just basically list of the films.
Wow.
Little bit of a description.
Oh my God.
Right.
Where can I get a copy of this? I want to hang it on my wall.
I feel like there's only 2 in existence.
What?
We also made commemorative plates.
What?
We would eat off these. This was the size of the burger, this entire plate.
What are you showing me right now?
My mind is so fucking blown right now.
What are you showing me right now?
So we all have the commemorative plate. This is a classic scene when they were in Pumping Iron, when they were pumping on Venice Beach.
Yeah, look at those 24-inch pythons.
Yeah, Arnold was stacked. In his day, what was he, like 6'1", 240?
240, man, that's an all muscle, just all muscle, no body fat.
I also have the Arnold Fest plate for my cat at the time, Sabrina.
Oh, a cat
where she
plate?
can eat on her plate while we eat on our plate. So
Everybody's
she would
involved.
participate
inclusive,
too.
yeah.
She would participate too.
Did the cat lift weights?
She was so heavy at the time. Lifting her body was like squats,
already doing it.
body weight stuff. She was
Understood.
working. And I also brought the Arnold Fest robes.
Robes?
So the beginning of the entire fest, we would have a ceremony, and the ceremony.
He really is a disciple.
Yeah.
Right. It was. We went deep. And basically, it was like we would ask. It was like Peter and I would be wearing this robes, and I don't know if there's even room for me to don it. It was something that his mom made, like out of burlap
Really?
sack. It's pretty dope, actually.
Can you imagine that conversation with your mother? Like, hey, Mom, can you make something for me? And she's like, yeah, what is it, son? And can you make me this robe specifically for Arnold Fest? And you go into all of that.
Yeah, just a cult robe. Can you make
just
me a
one cult robe,
She
but-
measured us, got like our measurements to make sure it's like exact.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if I have mine or Peter's actually. So I was like, I don't know if it fits me. But yeah, it was a full ceremony. And it was like, as long as someone is awake, just put the DVD in and press play.
And how
see
often would
far
like
we
one
can
of you
go.
guys wake up in sweats and just sweating and like, oh, and it's like the screen's black because no one popped in the DVD or
Yeah.
VHS? That would happen often.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, okay,
Jeremy
on
said
the
that
go.
happened. He was like, he woke up out of a stupor and like we were all just passed the fuck out.
course.
And he gets up and he's like, oh, what's next? What's next? He just reaches over for Batman and Robin, just puts it in, presses play, and just immediately goes back to sleep. And I was like, more power to you, man. But yeah, after that, we like realized like this is so we can't keep up the diet. The diet was just ridiculous. Spent like hundreds of dollars. And
It's expensive.
the
It's
rest
a lot
the
of
weekend,
protein,
we were
man.
like, no, fuck that. We're gonna just eat goldfish crackers, turkey, and like cereal. That's all we're gonna do. But then after
Like
that,
normal people.
right? Like normal people,
Of course.
Yeah, the normal Arnold, the real Arnold Fest diet.
Goldfish cereal, yeah.
So after that, we implemented the grab bag rule. So we decided that like this isn't fair because we can never be awake for the era of Arnold's career where it gets good.
Yeah.
Because there's a like early on films, if you look on the back, it's basically in chronological order.
Yeah.
You can see like the top row. It's like, what are these movies? I never even heard, right? And like most of them are like unknowns. There's going to be some in there, maybe Pumping Irons on the top, but
Yeah,
like
it's
something
the
like
third one.
like The Villain. Like, have you guys ever seen The Villain?
No,
It's
never.
his only Western film.
I was gonna say I
You mean a
recognize
Western?
that costume. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a still from that movie.
It's bonkers film. It's like a Looney Tunes live action, basically. It's really wild. It's fun, but it's like, okay.
And Stay Hungry, is that the one with Jeff Bridges?
Yes. And
fuck
Sally
outta here.
Fields.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah. He's got like a pumping scene where he's wearing like a Batman suit. And that was when I realized like, oh, Arnold could play a good Batman. I mean, he's got an accent, but just be like, whatever.
Physically,
They
he
never
would look-
address it in half of his movies anyways.
Yeah,
What difference
yeah.
does it make?
It's like, well, I mean, I don't want to hold it against him just because this man has an Austrian accent. But like, yeah, that we realized we couldn't watch the ones that we were really into, like getting into Predator, getting into Terminator 2. Like we would be so like delirious and sleepy that like it's not fair. We are only watching like these kind of like shittier movies to get to the good ones. We'll never be awake. So we made the Arnold grab bag. It's pretty faded now, but it's like you can see Conan. That was
Printed
printed
onto
onto this pillowcase.
Yeah,
The
that's what I was thinking. It
dedication.
was looking like.
The dedication is incredible.
Yeah,
This is old. This is old right now.
I'm so happy that you brought all of this paraphernalia.
People out there just listening to the podcast, just imagine like glorious artifacts.
Well, this
that
is
I'm
a reason to
pulling.
hop on you. Like I've said it before. Like hop on YouTube if you only listen to this, but like legitimately look at these artifacts
More
from this
people-
disciple.
More people need to see this plate. This plate has to be in. And it's like, when you go to your grandma's house and she has like the fine china for the Pope if ever
Yep.
he comes into town. This is it.
That's the thing. And imagine eating food off of that, and you are rewarded when you clean that plate by seeing that man right underneath your food.
I would like a
kinda-
nice gravy on here.
I
Yeah.
kind of stopped using it too because I kept getting worried like I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna ruin
Yeah,
the
dude.
back or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
about it. So now it's like a fine china. Like I just keep it like vertical in the cabinet. So when
Good.
you open it, Arnold's just there flexing right
Ready.
in front
Ready
of you
for
just
you.
to show you. So yeah, but after that we implemented the grab bag rule. So we would take all the DVDs, put it in the pillowcase, and then just rando.
iPod shuffle it, yeah.
Right. But it wouldn't be like we pull it out and that's what we watch. We pull it out and we're like, we're not watching this one yet. Pull again. We're not watching this one yet. And we
so-
would keep going until
Until you
there's
found the one you wanted to watch.
left.
Yeah.
One left. And then we would like, guess what's left?
Oh.
Early on, it's hard because there's so many films. But then at the end, we're like, oh, we can't wait. The only one left must be Terminator. So like it became like a fun way to mix things up.
What was the only one left?
Well, I mean, we did it a couple years. I think
Say the very first one? The very first year that you had implemented the grab bag rules, what was the one that was the last pick?
I think it was like the villain. It was like a shitty one. It was like, damn it, this is backfiring. It's supposed to be a good one.
We're never doing this again.
Right.
Would you say? But you would still watch all of the films.
Yes. Well, there was a year where my work was like, we can't let you take time off for Arnold Fest anymore. Like,
I do like how your work already knows about Arnold Fest. And like, it's all.
I was mad. A
tantrum.
I was like,
How
I
could
never
you
asked
do
for
this to
time
me?
off. As a disciple, how could you?
Yeah, they don't understand. You
Consider this my 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, and then eventually just kind of like faded away, unfortunately. We're just getting busy.
Of course.
Then like I tried to bring it back, and we're like, well, just do 24 hours of Arnold. So we'll just put in, the
Still
films.
a lot of Arnold.
It is a lot of Arnold.
We'll only do a full day.
No, you can't sleep during it.
Yeah,
You better sleep before, yeah.
It's just 24 hours.
And you guys stopped after the UN passed a law that torture through Arnold Schwarzenegger films was illegal, right? They were no longer allowed to strap people down to boards and make them
As long
watch.
as the cameras aren't on.
That's
This is
says
not
the
torture.
CIA.
Once again,
Who are you, George Bush? This is not torture.
Once again, I heard about Arnold Fest before even meeting you, and I wanted so badly to be a part of it. I was new to DVC. I was new to like making friends, and I was just like, that's the guy I want to be friends with. Actually, when I first met you, it was just at DVC, and I think you were eating something that was extremely healthy, and you were just so pleasant. And I'm glad, because you have a strong build, right? You look like someone that, and you are extremely fit. You are trained in
Kung Fu.
In Kung Fu.
Yeah, Chole Fuck Kung Fu specifically.
Look at that. Man could kill me. And the fact that you had
I could fucking kill you.
I mean, yeah, with a plate or with a...
I'll choke you right now to death.
Oh, it's happening.
No, this is how the podcast ends.
I think it was those days was like when I used to carry around a cooler and I would have my meal in, which would have like, a gallon of milk in there and like chicken, rice, beans or something, like broccoli. And
I think you were legitimately eating seeds. I think I saw you eating seeds.
Seeds. I kept the Arnold diet to a certain extent.
Okay.
To a certain extent.
Gotcha.
That was when I used to drink 4 gallons of milk a week.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Every vegan in the world just shit their pants thinking about that.
Yeah, I can't really drink that much like lactose anymore. So now when I think about that, it's just like, oh, my mouth would just be like dripping.
Constantly
my nose
coated
just
in
mucus everywhere. Yeah. It's like,
I love milk. I thought I drank a lot of milk, but 4 gallons in a week, again, seems like a torture sentence
I would
to me.
just like chug it. I would just like not whole milk. I wouldn't do whole milk. It would be like 2%.
2%.
That's pretty much water anyways.
I was going to say, if you were just chugging whole milk.
I couldn't do that.
You wouldn't be
that
this
physique.
fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would be
no.
like,
It
Well,
wouldn't
that's
make
one of
sense.
those things. Isn't it like impossible to drink a gallon of milk in a certain like under 5 minutes? Isn't there something about that? Like, the
I
body
believe
will
it.
reject it.
I believe it.
I've definitely seen a person chug a gallon of milk and then instantly throw up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right. And the
that
body
was
will
Probably
reject
Jackass
it.
or something,
No,
right?
I'm YouTube, man. YouTube in
Right.
2009. Yeah.
Something about it, like the body's like, no, you're over.
We'll let you take it in, but you're not keeping it. That's what your body's saying.
Well,
Thank you for the crash course. Yeah, that was
is
incredible.
awesome. The listeners all over the fucking world are just pooping in their pants because that was like that. This is such a niche thing, the Arnold Fest, and it's I think it's about time we jump into the movie that we're actually going to talk about because I don't want to. I'm curious as to what your reaction is going to be, but I've never seen this movie.
That's what blew my mind. Like right before we recorded,
I accidentally buried the lead. Yeah.
I was like, "What? You guys have never seen Last Action Hero?"
Did not know what it was about, but I only gathered enough from the movie poster since that's what we sent you. By the way, Baddies, if you are not familiar, if you did not purchase yourself one of these shirts, it is a shirt that came out like a year and a half ago. It's and we also used it for our podcast cover art for a while too.
A long time.
Yeah, a long time.
You had stickers made of it and stuff.
Literally, it was the Last Action Hero movie poster, but you drew it with our faces on, basically us as them.
Right, yeah.
And your art, by the way, follow Josh Wolf. He is an amazing artist, comic book creator, Kairu Gaiden, and you are doing something with Fellow Robot, right?
Yes.
That is freaking awesome. Hop on over to his Instagram, commission him. If you guys want quality art, go to this man because it's really impressive. Really impressive.
Yeah, I was like, I think you came to me with like, we want Last Action Hero, but our faces. And like a tear fell down my face as I read that. I was like, what?
Now that I know your past with Arnold, like,
it makes sense.
Did you know that that's why you picked him to do that thing? Or like, did you know he would
I
be
knew I
an
wanted something
Arnold
with him.
fan?
I wanted, and then I was like,
because we had discussed, not to cut you off, but we had discussed having you do art for us, like I think really early on.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember how we landed on Last Action Hero. Do you?
I do, because it all fell into place, right? We were looking for, okay, we're a bad movie podcast, and like it should be like a movie poster, like a movie poster parody. Yeah. And so I was looking around for like, poorly rated movies, bad movies, right?
I don't know how Last Action Hero got onto that Google list. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't either.
I'm surprised. But it popped up, and I I enlarged the image, and I was like, oh my God. This is it. They're popping out of like a movie theater.
Yeah.
Right?
There wasn't even a second guess, a second option. We were just like, this is the one.
There are two individuals on this movie poster. Yeah. And I already know he's not going to allow it if he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I guess I have to be Danny. So I'm going to go ahead and be Danny. And now I'm this
It's an honor to be Danny. It's an honor to be Danny.
You're playing it down.
I have thoughts. I have thoughts regarding Danny Madigan. Because also, if your last name is Madigan, he upsets me throughout the film.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
So douchey when he gets into movie world.
I do think he's the true villain of the film.
Yeah,
because he's just ruining people's lives. Like, could you imagine? Right. Yeah, he's just destroying. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, let's hop into the nitty gritty.
Here's the itty bitty nitty gritty coming at you. This movie we watched is called Last Action Hero. Is rated PG-13. Was released in the year 1993. Has a runtime of 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is equivalent to 130 minutes. It has a rating of 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 44% on Metacritic. Gentlemen, would you like to guess what percentage of Google users approve of this film?
Approve?
Yeah, it's a thumbs up, thumbs down rating sort of thing on Google. Every movie has one.
I want to say 89%.
89?
No. I mean, as much as I love this film, I know the dirty underbelly of Google.
Of the internet,
yeah. So I'm going to say like 64.
Ooh, you think it's that low?
What? It varies. Google is very hard to pick. It is 86% on Google. Yeah. Wow. So there is some just common sense in Google apparently. So synapses. Coming at you.
Right, actually.
I said it early. I fucked up. I haven't done this in a while. Following the death of his father, young Danny Madigan takes comfort in watching action movies featuring the indestructible Los Angeles cop, Jack Slater. After being given a magic ticket by the theater manager, Nick, Danny is sucked into the screen and bonds with Slater. When the evil fiction villain Benedict gets his hands on the ticket and enters the real world, Danny and Jack must follow and stop him. This movie had a budget of $85 million. About 82 of that went to Arnold, and then the rest was in CGI, clearly.
The animated cat. So $3 million went to the animated cat.
The animated cat and digitalized black and white Humphrey Bogart.
You know who that animated cat was?
Who?
Danny DeVito.
Stop, really?
Yes.
I thought it sounded...
100%.
When you were watching it in the car, and all I could do was hear it, I thought it was very...
It sounded like someone that I knew, and now it makes sense.
I don't know why that cat wasn't in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
They got a little Easter egg.
They should have.
I think there was some sitcom at the time that came out either a couple years or something before then that was like the same premise where there was a cop teamed up with a cartoon cat or something, and it only lasted like 5 episodes, 5 seasons.
Why don't they reboot that show? They're over here rebooting Full House and shit. I want to see that show.
I want the cat.
Money.
Speaking of money, how much do you think it made?
I think I'm gonna say $150 million, $155 million.
I'm trying to think right now. It was 85 million to make.
85 million to make.
I don't think it made its money back. I'm gonna say, because I know it tanked in the box offices. It came out a week after Jurassic Park. No way you can compete with that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say it was like 70 million.
It made $137.3 million. I would say, technically, in the scope of movies and stuff, it didn't really make its money back. It didn't even double its budget after all of the marketing and shit and stuff that they paid. I'm sure, it's not the biggest grossing film that Arnold's ever done, that's for sure. Also, totally didn't realize Shane Black wrote this.
Yes.
Completely makes sense now. Yeah. When you told me that, I was like, this is like some of the most Shane Black comedy I've ever seen in my life.
It's awesome. Like, this movie...
That's why they're so like, okay, we kept saying
I love this movie.
that this movie is incredibly meta, and especially for being like a 93 film,
Yes.
like the tongue-in-cheek, looking into the barrel of the camera, winking at the audience, talking to the audience. It's like, oh, Deadpool is hacked now because this did it better.
Right.
This did it really well. And
People weren't ready for it.
No. It was like super
That's just
meta.
what it is.
Well,
They weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that there's a moment like where Danny and Jack Slater pass by Sharon Stone smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
And Patrick, what the fuck is his name?
I know
Robert
this.
Patrick.
Robert
Immediately,
Patrick.
back to back. It's just like, what?
Well, when we were watching it, and again, because it's the first time we're watching, I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that guy one of the Terminators?
And I was like, no, fuck out of here. And I looked it up and I was like, why?
Oh my God, he
why
is.
is he on the roster? It was him. He showed up.
Yeah. Well, I
This
mean,
was Arnold's first time producing one of his films.
Wow.
Or producing any film. So I feel like he just had so much power and pull. This is also the peak of the, what do you call it, Planet Hollywood time.
yes. Yeah.
So
well, I mean,
this
he
is
plugs
like
it in the movie.
He just did Terminator 2. It's the height of his career, and he's just pulling all the stops. He's just getting everybody he knows and all the favors, like bringing them in.
Can I say, Planet Hollywood, when I was a kid, was my absolute favorite restaurant, hands down, period.
It's awesome.
Except for the time they sat us at the table next to all of the spiders from, I think
Arachnophobia?
so. And Christian, you know how I am about spiders.
You hate spiders.
I
love spiders.
well,
Well,
we can
I've
discuss
never heard
this
people
later.
say I love
Yeah.
spiders. I mean, people
I've seen
don't
people say
care
I
for
love
spiders.
roller coasters, I love dogs, but I've never heard them say I love spiders.
I
Too
don't
many
have
eyes.
any problem
Too
with
many
spiders.
legs.
In fact, the more I hear people say they don't like spiders, the more I feel like I just love them more because they're not getting that
They're
love
getting
from
the love.
anywhere else.
And you know what? Somebody should like them,
Right.
right? You and
fact,
Peter Parker are the only two. So
I'm more on the dislike them side just because, I mean, like it depends on the spider itself.
I don't want to upset you, Josh. I think kill them all with fire.
Nope, it's okay. Some of them deserve to live. Just, you do your thing over there.
In the last episode, you wanted to kill half of Los Angeles.
No, hey, without context, listen to the episode that he has some context. Whatever, let's talk about Last Action
Yes.
Hero.
Okay.
This,
Can I ask Josh a question real
yeah,
quick?
go
though?
right ahead.
What building is the police department in? Because that's clearly like a convention center or something that they made into. Do you
Apparently,
know?
it was the same set that they used for The Running Man.
Wow, that makes sense.
So they repurposed it. I think it's some kind of lot. But yeah, it's that whole LA, like that fake LA police department with like a valet in front taking their cars.
Beautiful.
It's just done so well. Everything, and then the scene where the guy's like, "Bice, you're teamed up with the rabbi."
Yeah.
And it's
So
like,
funny.
We got Rabbi Cop today.
Right. It's so good. Like everything that they do in this film to create like this hyper, like, I don't know, satirical version of an action movie is just done so well. And the
Executed
director
so well.
is John McTiernan, who did Die Hard.
Oh, I didn't realize that. No.
Yes. So it's from someone who basically kind of
Does this?
invented the action genre. Like, I mean, Die Hard came out late 80s, but still, like, that was like a moment where, like, this is an action film. Like, we're telling you what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And, like, it's coming from someone like that, and as well as from someone like Arnold, who, like, these are, like, action icons, both director and actor, and then just completely flipping the script and just, like, making fun of themselves is just such a good premise.
Especially at the end when Arnold finally sees Jack Slater. And Arnold's just like, you are a celebrity stunt double. I mean,
I don't really like you. You've brought me nothing but pain in my life.
Pain. I'm getting chills.
it's
It's really
CG
hot in
is
here,
also
so maybe
really,
you should.
yeah, maybe
you're
yeah,
sick.
yeah. It's like they look really good too. Like when you see them standing side by side for a movie in '93, seeing like
Yeah.
a person standing, there's no like blur line or weirdness.
No,
to
but
it.
when he is talking and they're getting the shot from
Shoulders.
behind.
I thought it was a
of
different
other
man.
Arnold.
Yeah.
That one is the only one that bugged me a little bit. But to their defense and Arnold's defense, like I told you in the car, probably very hard to find an Arnold Schwarzenegger body double.
absolutely.
I would think that might be up there with one of the harder jobs to have in Hollywood. Finding somebody who looks like Arnold.
even the character in the movie, I mean, Arnold was like, "I've never seen a better body double.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
best."
That seemed a little masturbatory for him to be like complimenting himself and his
Right.
act. Again, it's like in Forrest Gump 2 when Forrest meets Tom Hanks. It's like, this is a little too much going on right now. It's just...
do like that he pokes fun at himself because like when he is walking at the premiere and his wife is saying like, hey, don't plug any of the restaurants, all right?
When
he slides it in at the very end.
No gyms, no restaurants. It's tacky when you do it.
It's so tacky. It's so tacky.
And so he started talking about Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, speaking of Hollywood, the Planet Hollywood, we have the best relics, the best memorabilia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she comes and pulls him away. That was embarrassing. Yeah.
And you know what he was thinking when she did that?
What?
Can't wait to go home and see the maid.
Oh my gosh.
Can't wait. I don't like when that was like 10 years before.
Oh yeah. Oh no, for sure. Yeah. Because the maid.
I can't wait to choose a maid. Go home and like decide which maid we're at.
He just has like a folder of like headshots.
Maids sending in headshots and measurements and all that stuff. He's like, that one. To bring it to the movie, back to the movie. I like how it started off immediately with the scene with the Ripper. Like it's the action starts with so much at stake. It's him and
the son,
action hero style. Yeah, about to save his son from this very terrifying villain. Like one of the scariest people I've ever seen on the big screen.
Yeah, it's also like a believable action movie that we're watching at first. I mean, obviously when he's coming in, he's like walking across the police cars. It's like, big joke. But once he's on top of the roof, then it goes into this like, wait, am I like watching an action movie mode? Like this feels like kind of a legit action movie we're watching.
I could have liked if this movie was like a part A and a part B. Right? If like part A was all of us just watching like the movie and like, why is this kid in this movie? And then part B is like, now I don't know, kind of like a noises off behind the stage.
Well, there's so much that happens. I mean, we spent about an hour and a half in movie realm.
They have a full like lead up climax resolution. And then they're like, we got an hour left.
Yeah, dude, once Benedict touches the ticket and he's like, oh, I unlocked a different universe. I'm like, oh, they're fucking going into the real world. Also, they're going to fuck shit up in the real world.
Right.
Also, Benedict has a better connection to that ticket than the kid did.
Yeah.
Because the kid could never get it to work when he wanted to. And as soon as Benedict touched it.
Yes.
Of course.
Do it.
That's what we're here for.
Can we talk about, what's his name? Charles Dance, right?
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
Impeccable acting.
Yeah. Apparently, they originally were thinking of Alan Rickman for the role.
Interesting. I can see that. Different movie.
And like Charles Dance on the set would like wear this shirt that says I'm cheaper than Alan Rickman or something, because he was like very happy that he was the one chosen. He's like, yeah, I'm a poor man's Alan Rickman.
Hell
like he did really so good in that movie. Give him like that long Joker style gun that like everybody was using back then.
I do like that all of Arnold's guns are like 50 caliber Desert Eagles. Like he doesn't have a normal gun.
His glove compartment has a mountain of guns.
Oh, and like belts of bullets and shit. Like
he tells Danny, if you're in danger, there's a gun in the
Jack.
He comes out. This is a child.
Oh, and that kid runs around with a gun more than like anybody should be running with a gun.
I need to talk about. I have to talk about Danny real quick.
Hey, take your bra off and get it off your chest, bro. Let's go.
Douchebag of a child.
Horrible person.
I mean, are you going to defend him?
I will say this.
I can't.
I can't. So when I first saw this film, I was I'm trying to remember. Like I think I was like 7 or 8 years old when I saw it in theaters at the Dome Theater in Pleasant Hill when it was still around.
Nice.
Yeah. I saw The Grinch there.
And it was, it's just like, it's an experience. And I was like, I saw this movie and I was like, I love this movie. But immediately people were like, I hate this movie. Yeah. And everyone was because I fucking hate that kid. Everyone didn't like the movie because of Danny Madigan. And I was like watching, I was like, even now, I was like, I don't know, the kid does a good job. I mean, first of all, the actor is just doing what the script and the director are telling them to do.
I want to say I'm not mad at the actor. I'm fine with the actor.
Right.
Oh, I'm actually the other way. I really like the character. I think they should have gotten a different actor.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
They should have got kid who played young Darth Vader, or what other kid was big right now? Macaulay Culkin would have been good for that role.
That was who originally they were going to go with, but he was filming like The Good Son or something.
Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin was going to be that.
Wow.
That movie, I have to say it would have been better with Macaulay Culkin.
I am fine with the kid actor, except for whenever he has lines that say, hello.
Right. That's, he does have a lot of like,
into a wimp.
A little bit of like a smart ass kind of like a little too far. And I will say that, but I mean, that's what the role needs. Someone who's like watched movies all his life and is now in this parallel universe where he's in the movie and needs to be pointing out like, oh, this is a movie, you can't say this word, say fuck. Say the word fuck. I'm writing it on a piece of paper.
Such a great bit.
And they say fuck once at the very end of the movie.
Right, the lieutenant or something.
Yeah, the chief.
He says a lot of weird stuff.
A lot of stuff. It's so
Honestly,
crazy.
I think he says worse things than fuck. He says like
Something about the Diary of Anne Frank.
he talks about
does bring up Anne Frank.
he talks about an all-male version of the Diary of Anne Frank. He talks about like cock-sucking shit eaters.
Yeah.
He says like he is like honestly, he says way worse things than just the F word.
What is the thing that Arnold says to him at the very end of the movie? Or he says it and it's like bubble gubble jumper something.
No, rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Yeah, rubber baby buggy.
He says that to the
You
taxi
didn't
driver.
expect for me to say that, huh? Ha! Yeah.
I do like the Arnold being like, "I'll be back." He's like, "Yeah, I've been waiting for you to say it."
Yeah,
It's kind of your thing.
I think the line is supposed to be like "big mistake." That's like, the pseudo line. I was like, that works. That's like a good like little catch line. You know, one of the things I did like this movie did, if you remember in the beginning where Dana Madigan's in class, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna watch a scene of Hamlet."
Yeah.
And like he's watching him, it's like, just do it. Don't say, all the villains, they give away the plot. Just do it. And then he goes into his own head, watches Arnold as it. I want to see that.
That
movie.
movie. I was so down for that spinoff.
Mm-hmm. Apparently there was more scenes they cut out of that, like of him in like the water shooting, and it's like, stay thy hand, fair prince. Who said I'm fair? And he just like starts shooting people. I was like, that's so
Let's
good.
watch it. Well, can you imagine the amount of like makeup and time that they had to?
That's a whole new. They have to make a movie, just to put it in the movie for 10
multiple
seconds.
days of shooting just to make that little Hamlet
Dude,
spinoff.
that's a B unit at least. You know what I mean? Like they have to bring in a whole nother crew, and they,
So worth it.
It would have been
so worth it.
I would watch these Jack Slater films. I would see the Jack Slater 3 with the Ripper because the Ripper is such a terrifying villain. I want to know more about him and his
Do we know
backstory.
anything about Jack Slater 2? Because they talk about Jack Slater. They talk about Jack Slater 3 a lot, and Jack Slater 4 is coming
There's
out.
a scene where they go to Jack Slater's apartment, and it's just like basically empty except for a bed.
Oh,
and
the
he immediately
ninja!
goes in and shoots. Yeah, and there's like a ninja in the closet. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, how'd you know there was a ninja closet?" He's like, "Oh, no, right, no wonder." Jack Slater 2, The Return of the Ripper, or something like that.
Yeah.
So we know that there was a Ripper of some sort in Jack Slater 2.
I love ninjas. Like needless ninjas in movies.
He
Just
was so needless.
every movie should have one ninja.
I mean, it's a ninja in the daytime in the closet.
Also, why is he wearing black?
Yeah, it's the daytime. And he
I love
self-esteem
80s.
thing. He's
Oh,
got to
that's
get
what it
his
is.
mind into it. I think this is also the only film I've ever seen Arnold. I mean, it's obviously not Arnold, but someone as a stunt double of Arnold doing a flip. Like he's on like a rooftop.
The
and he does
parkour scene?
Yes, yeah.
Again,
that was crazy.
50 years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Someone that big, someone that stature, 6'1", 240, doing a flip.
I'm just so down to see Arnold
Do
walk
anything.
on anything that's not the ground because he does a lot of that in this movie. He's just like, oh,
life.
a line of 17 taxi cabs.
Yes.
Let me use this as my walkway.
And alligator boots.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he doesn't walk on water, but he does drive on water at one point.
Yes.
This guy's driving's wild, man. Like when he's leaving the parking garage
He's
in
literally the
Movieland,
worst driver.
His lieutenant is coming in from like where on the right lane where you should drive. He crosses like a divider in the parking garage and causes an accident immediately.
If we're talking about his driving at all, we have to talk about the chicken scene that happened in the real world.
Oh, that's such a good scene.
Because he's like, you can't play chicken in the real world. He's like, people die in car crashes, and we're watching this happen. It's all one shot.
Yes.
The cars are coming to each other, and it's just boom. One of the most violent car crash scenes in cinema history.
It's so like just a period at the end of that sense because it's like, is this one take? You're watching it happen. It's like, are they going to cut away? They're going to cut away.
They're gonna cut to him in the car or something, or they're gonna swerve or like. But no, they just straight up crash, and then fucking Odd Job is hanging out of the front window like a fucking every 15 minutes thing.
Right.
And it's just like,
was bloody.
what's happening here?
It was so bloody. Odd job.
Multiple times.
Professor Tanaka.
I'm sorry, Professor Tanaka.
Oh yeah, that was his last role.
What?
That was his.
Well, he died in the car crash.
It's like it's a very real film.
Also, Art Carney's last film.
Who?
Art Carney?
Who's that?
Art Carney.
Art's
Wait.
Parts.
Practice? Wait,
Yes.
Wait. Who's Art Carney?
Art Carney's he was an old man.
Oh no, that
guy
was
that played
played
Nick?
Frank.
Yeah.
That played Frank, his favorite second cousin.
His favorite, yeah.
Oh.
When he was like, I gotta go, or like, what was his last line? Something like, I'm out of here, which ended up being his last line in a film, and then he like died shortly after. That was like his last. It was kind of.
Damn, that's sad.
I mean, I was going to make a fart joke right there, but this movie actually has about 30 minutes of a fart joke.
Yes.
That, at first, I thought it was just going to be a throwaway line, but nope.
No.
What is his name? Joe the Fart?
Leo
the
the
Fart.
fart is gonna pass gas one more time.
Oh my God. Not only that, they pull his finger. Like
Yes.
they
to start the timer of the bomb. This movie has so many different chapters in it that escaped my mind. That there was an entire assassination of a mob attempt on the top of a building. First of all, rooftop funeral.
That's how I want it done.
Very
Add that
classy.
to my list, please.
Very classic.
Very classy.
Oh my gosh! And who is it? There was also a traitor. Who was the guy?
Oh, practice.
Yes.
Something practice.
Private practice. No.
Private
no.
practice. I mean, the whole joke was like, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. John practice something. I don't know.
No,
he
you
killed
take a cab.
Mozart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mozart. That's right. So many just like on the nose jokes in this movie, sprinkled in all the right places, or just like filled with it.
And I want to say one of the best comedic things that I've ever seen, and in fact I've never seen a movie do it before, is in this film they don't just like have jokes that end, like they come back in the background. So like when the cat detective is looking for a doctor and he runs off and he's like, we need a doctor, like you still hear him in the background being like, I need a doctor.
Yeah.
And it's just like
For like 30 seconds.
They don't let it go. Of course he's still screaming for a doctor.
That cat was still in it.
Yeah.
Meta.
So
Method
yes.
acting.
Yes. Well, Danny is always pointing out just all these. Okay, it's very funny, but I did hate him for it when he was just really trying to ruin Arnold's life by saying, "Hey, you're not real, dude.
Look
this
how
is
hot
a
this girl
movie."
is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was the whole Blockbuster. It wasn't called Blockbuster. It was like Acme or something.
And
but yeah.
everything was Acme, which I thought was also
Right.
a fun gag. Also, how does that kid know that there's only 9,999 options for a 555 number?
Because there's 4 digits left in a 7-number number. So 555, and then phone numbers are 7 numbers. So there's 4 digits, and with 4-digit possibilities, you can only go up to 9,199.
Thank
Kid's
you.
sharp. The
Thank
kid's
you.
fast, kid's sharp. But that's why we have area codes.
Yeah.
And it's like, got him. He got him.
But this is
415.
movie world. This is movie. I like how Arnold was hitting on that girl in the Acme or Blockbuster
Right, yeah.
place.
No, both the person who was going to get films as well as the one who was working there. And
Yeah.
then as they're walking out, like some like woman walking her dog, he's like checking her out. It's like definitely a horn dog. Like he was just playing himself.
Yeah.
He was just smoking cigars. Arnold would smoke cigars on set all the time.
Yes.
It was I feel like this movie was like Arnold was like, I just want to make a movie where I can be me.
I don't
Let's
think he
build a
acted.
movie around
Yeah,
that.
I don't think he acted at all.
No,
the
not
most
too.
acting he did was when he was pretending to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that. But when he was actually Jack Slater, he was just like, okay, this is my life times 100. Let's just amp it up.
Yeah.
Not at all, actually. It's his life.
I like this world that they're in too. Like what? It's like kind of futuristic.
Is it futuristic or is it takes place in the past? Because all the cars are old, but that LAPD
Right.
office looked pretty fucking advanced.
It's like a parallel universe that like is cool. I would want to be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wanna
flesh
be there.
wound, bullet shots are just flesh wounds. You like survive that kind of thing. Like
I mean, and then he gets shot in the heart, not to bury the end, but like he gets shot in the heart, and then when he gets to fake world, they're like, this is barely even a flesh wound.
right,
Yeah.
right. Get him up. Like stand him up now.
Charles Dance was like menacing when he was figuring out how inconsequential his actions were in the real world.
Right. Can we talk about Charles Dance again?
Yeah, let's talk about him as much as you want.
He is so good. Like when he like the moment you get that presence of him, like where he's just like does the shot like without looking in the very beginning, you know, like and every time he has I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to be rambling cuz like he's so good like yeah, when he comes to the real world and he's like testing things out, like first of all he's walking and he sees people, like he hears a gunshot and he quickly goes over to see what's happening. He's like, they're stealing his shoes. All they want is steal his shoes.
For a brief second, I thought that was going to be him being like, this world is so evil, like, now I'm going to be good, which kind of would have been a little bit of a cop-out. But no, in fact, it goes the exact opposite way, where he's like, oh, I can do anything here. And I think in 90s New York, you probably could.
Yeah, no, people were like, he was yelling, I murdered a man.
I did it with intention.
And I want to confess.
And I want
so
it.
good.
Yeah, and then the guy, whoever is just like in his
Hey,
building,
we're trying to sleep up here.
keep it down.
Yeah.
Just so funny.
And it's a smart move for a villain to do that realizes, like, first of all, the villain, his character was smart enough to like pick up what's happening.
Yeah.
Can work the ticket. Then he's like, I'm just going to go and like pull all, like he's labeling, what was he named off, like Dracula. I'm going to bring Dracula back. Freddy
King
Krueger,
Kong.
King Kong. It's like, this guy's doing his homework fast.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, if he could have taken over the world easily.
Yeah, dude.
Unless one of those villains wants to be in charge and then...
Next one.
But you know what got him down? Like he had to have that one-on-one with Jack Slater. That was the one
Yeah.
thing. You can't pass up a chance to take out the man, Jack Slater. So.
That was awesome. I mean, like I like that they brought the Ripper back too at the very end.
Yes.
I was like, oh my, like a nice little callback to the very first 5 minutes.
I also really like that the Ripper's axe comes in parts,
That was such a cool moment.
as if it's like a sniper rifle that he's putting together.
Like you weren't expecting it. Like this is his craft.
But I do think though
Axe
that
work.
having an axe in pieces makes the axe itself not as strong.
I mean, stronger presence.
More places for it to
Dude.
break when he's swinging it at
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It was strong enough to hold him as he was using it to help slow his rate on the
who is he?
curtain.
John Wilkes Booth? What the fuck is this shit?
I like that he takes the time to put it together to throw it once.
yeah.
He just throws it once.
Because you know he's going to throw it.
Yeah.
You know he's going to throw it
He's
again.
just like, you don't want to just swing it, dude, so you could still have it in your hand after you use it?
Also, Arnold electrocutes him with a live wire in the puddle, but then just stands up in that water.
Afterwards.
The electricity's still going, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
And I think he uses that wire to like rope down himself to get Danny. Am I wrong? Or is that just a completely different piece of rope?
what he does, he's like hanging from the building. He might have been hanging from the wire. Catches Danny.
Yeah.
Good
and then
stuff.
like
Solid movie.
swings him up to the roof.
It's wild. Yeah, Danny's just like on a gargoyle upside down.
That was like ending number 2. This movie has several false endings.
Yeah, dude.
Like the Leo DeFart was like within the world, that world ending. Like
Yeah.
that was their universe ending. And then they jump over and it was like that moment was like, are they going there? Is this movie still going? And yes, it is for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Right.
When I told him that, he thought it was a joke.
Right. I mean, movies are longer nowadays, but it's a healthy 2 hour take.
It's
yeah.
2 movies,
Yeah, it is.
like
It
stitched
really is.
together as if fucking Christopher Nolan was there. You know, like it is a no. That one didn't land. Okay.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you guys were both looking at me very like straight faced.
I was like, you're right.
I'm listening. Yeah, dude.
Don't you know? You say mm-hmm.
Hey, I know. That's why when I'm like really involved in the conversation or what the person's saying, me as a recipient, I'm engaged. And then I realize I now sound like a caveman when I just...
No, I appreciate it. But yeah, what was I gonna say? The movie runtime, apparently, like they were trying to cut it down, but like they were filming a week prior to the release of the film in theaters. They were still filming. So like they were just like, the movie was a disaster as far as like production. And I think it was one of the things that John McTiernan, the director, was like, I'm going to take a break from making movies right now. This is like too much.
Yeah.
And Arnold considers it like the beginning of the decline of his career.
It is and it isn't. Like I could kind of see how stressful it was and like how all of a sudden like now it's not as much fun. But also, this might be his best film. Period.
Yeah, it is so good, like on a meta level, on like a person who loves action movies. And I'm a big fan of Arnold in a comedic or like heavily comedic like role.
Yes.
Like Kindergarten Cop twins, even Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Yes.
He's adapting. Yes.
I think I have a...
We got to edit all your sounds into like a clip.
Yes.
I've become like a Woody doll with a pull string, and I have like about 47 different sayings. You know,
That's a
so
lot.
when you pull
Woody
it-
didn't have that many.
47 variations of
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's called Mandarin Chinese.
Tones.
It's this
So this is your favorite Arnold film?
It's one of my favorites. So I have Arnold
how do you pick your
films
favorite
in
type?
like tiers. So like there's like the S tier, like the very top of the top.
Yeah.
I would say this movie is like the second slot down. The very top tier, I want to try and make it a top 5, but I don't even know if I can pick that 5th one. So for years I'd only have a 4, like the top 4. One is Conan the Barbarian.
Nice.
Such a great film. One was Pumping Iron. Again, such a great film.
Yep.
One was Predator.
Yes. All knocked out of the park.
And actually, maybe it was only like the 3. What was the 4th? Oh, Total Recall. Total Recall is so good. Now, the 5th one is like, I fluctuate depending on what day. Like maybe
Depending
I'm
on how you
feeling
woke up.
like True Lies, which is another comedic role
So funny.
from Arnold, which is such
Arnold
a good movie.
and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, you get to see your boobies.
That's the one. That's how that weirdly, as like a as a child with hormones, that's how I categorized that movie. Not
Yeah.
necessarily an Arnold movie,
It's a
but the
Jamie
one,
Lee
like, where you
Curtis
see-
film. Yeah.
It's a Jamie Lee Curtis booby film.
Yeah.
Just like Sharon Stone is in that one movie where we all look at her vagina.
Yeah.
Basic Instinct.
I didn't even know it had a name. I thought it was
Basic
called
Instinct. It's called Basic
the
Instinct.
vagina movie.
I was about to say Killer
gotta
Instinct,
go.
that
I
fighting
think
game.
it's the vagina monologues, right? When
That's
Sharon
what that movie is. That dude, I love that she's in this. The cameos are ridiculous.
The only cameo that I don't remember seeing, and maybe you can explain it to us, was Tina Turner.
Yeah, she's
right,
the
right
mayor.
up in the front. She's the mayor, and this movie is like oddly political. Like he's like, "Oh, call me when the governor gets here," and Arnold becomes the governor.
Crazy.
10 years from that movie.
Crazy,
Yeah, he was probably
dude.
still a Democrat when he made that joke.
Right, exactly. There's some weird twists, and there was like a lot of like things about like there's worse things in the world: politicians, earthquakes, fires, politicians. You said it twice.
Twice as bad as everything else.
Yeah,
Boom.
it's like
And then he became one.
Yeah, so I don't know why Tina Turner was the mayor. I don't know what kind of pull or like just Hollywood schmoozing Arnold had with Tina Turner.
I guess so.
But-
what do we even see her as mayor? When do we see her
In
as
the
mayor?
very beginning, like when they're trying to tell, like, I think they're like trying to get Jack Harder to not go, or sorry, Jack Slater to not go on the roof, and like
In the first movie, in
Yeah.
Jack Slater 3,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
exactly, right. Jack Slater
Yeah,
3.
that's right.
the layers of this onion of a movie just blow my mind.
Right.
The fact that this exists in our universe, that Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing Jack Slater in Last Action Hero, so like halfway through the movie, when Charles Dance picks up the ticket and we find out, oh shit, he's gonna go into the real world. Oh my god, in the real world, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Please tell me Jack Slater's gonna go in there
And meet Arnold.
Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
It's just so
It
much.
delivers.
We had been talking about that as the film was going, and
Yep.
you went to the bathroom when that happened, and Christian comes back, he's like, well, what'd I miss? Expecting me to be like, oh, not much, this, and this. I was like, Christian, he just met Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Christian
Upends a table.
shit his pants,
Yeah.
came running around the table, and we rewound it and watched it all over again, because the glee in your eye when I finally told you that it happened was like,
Yeah.
yes.
And can we talk about that like the red carpet scene?
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to remember, there was like Chevy Chase was there, Damon Wayans was there,
James Belushi.
James
Alive
Belushi,
Belushi.
Yeah,
Jean-Claude Van Damme was
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
It's like all of these people are just like coming out of the woodwork. I was like, what is the budget? Like, were these people doing
85
it as
million.
a favor? Like, well, I mean, like, what was it? Like 85. It was 85. Like, that was like allocated to these cameos, or was it all complete Arnold pull favors?
I think it
Arnold
was.
Paul.
I think it was just friends. We're filming this on the lot. You guys are here right now.
Come on,
anyways.
say hi. It's free
Yeah.
publicity. If you have
Yeah.
something to promote,
'Cause
here
do,
you go.
Do people get paid for cameos?
I don't know.
I mean, I
I
guess.
think like almost all when it's a big person making a cameo like that, I feel like it's almost always a favor.
Right.
Right?
This is a John McTiernan film. He just like
people.
like a year or two ago, before this one, made Hunt for Red October, which was a
Which is
huge-
another bonkers film.
yeah. So like obvious, and it's an Arnold film. So like this movie has the clout to be able to like get people to come out, because even Sharon Stone wasn't on good terms with Arnold at the time of this movie.
Whoa.
But still was in the movie as a cameo because Arnold was like, "You're gonna be in the scene, and you're just gonna walk, and that's it." And
it's
like,
like that's easy. And all you got to do is just light the cigarette and
yeah,
walk away.
walk off set.
I don't even think she walked. They just walked past her. So
Right.
she stays still as
Maybe
she's
she
doing
didn't
that.
even know they were filming. Maybe she was just smoking a cigarette on
All right,
set.
we're done. We're
Just
done.
like
Thanks,
her
Sharon.
usual,
Done
smoking
for
in a white
what?
dress.
Yeah, she's like, "What do you mean done?" They're like, nothing, Sharon,
Done
nothing."
what?
Are those
It's
cameras?
so good, man. I mean,
Oh,
what
man.
the MCU did the long game of creating a universe, and so that we would get fan service come like No Way Home, come like all of these Disney Plus shows, right? We would see
Right.
like little Easter eggs. We're seeing Easter eggs in the same movie about the same movie later on. It's just like the ninja. And him
Right.
saying, "Remember Jack Slater 2, Return of the Ripper?" That's already that's fan service for us. Now that we saw, we're piecing together all the different clues that
take a
create
breath,
this
buddy.
last. I'm done.
Very excited.
There's a snake in my boot. It's just one of my 47 sayings.
I do like that you're doubling down on the Woody thing. Look, this movie is should be standard watching for every American citizen in the world. And I also think this should be taught in college courses. I think if you're studying film or you enjoy cinema, this movie should be on top of your list just for the sheer, like,
You got it.
Yep.
You got it.
You got
It
it.
looks like you're kissing and fondling boobs at the same time.
Keep going.
like the of this film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a
Five
beefy film.
out of
Five
Five
out of-
ums out of
That's the new rating system.
yeah.
I give it
Yeah, that's 5. That's 5.
So, no, I'm closing my throat before I say it.
Okay.
Ah, dude.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is
but
so
if
much
you're
fun.
talking about the Marvel and MCU, like, what's the biggest thing now? Multiverse, parallel universes. This movie
was the multiverse.
It was
already.
doing
that
it already
before we even had the term being used all the time for
Yeah.
multiverse. Like,
Yes.
Maybe the comic books were already doing it.
well, I mean, I'm sure they would, but like as far as like blockbuster films,
For
like
sure, for
movies,
sure, for
like
sure.
that are just like putting out there. I mean, I think they use the term parallel universe or parallel world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
It's the same shit, dude.
Yeah.
I would love to see, when this movie ends and Arnold Schwarzenegger's back in his life and he like talks back to his boss again and shit like that. He's like, "'Cause I'm the hero and you're the lieutenant," or whatever it is.
Right.
I want to see the next day because now Arnold Schwarzenegger is essentially a god in that universe because he
Right.
knows that there's no ramifications. He understands that like he should now turn into Dr. Doom.
That's the real thing,
God.
though. I think you were right saying that Danny Madigan is the true villain of the film because he broke that universe essentially. Like I do want to see what's going to happen is like an exponential, like that the fabric of that reality starts crashing
Just
in.
completely-
How many people just become
Yeah.
like fourth wall breaking?
Ruined
like,
lives.
If Danny were to somehow find that ticket again and come back and time had progressed, he's like an adult now and he's like, "Oh, I want to go check it out." He would go back. There would be statues of Arnold Schwarzenegger everywhere, and there would be like, well, actually, no, maybe he wouldn't go the Nazi route. Never mind.
Damn, no, a little.
But
too
I just
deep.
mean like just going like taking over and like.
Yeah, no, I mean he would be fine. I think he would be praised.
But
he
he
might
would be
become a
God.
movie star in that world. Watch. Are there movies in the movie world? Obviously, because they go to this
No,
blockbuster.
there's no music.
He listens to classical music for the
right.
first time.
He does change. And I think at the very end, if you're listening to him, like I think he like as the camera's like panning, you can hear him like walking away with the commissioner and saying something about like, "And I don't want to use guns anymore." Or
Yeah.
something.
What?
He says something to the
Yes,
effect
he
of
does.
like he doesn't want to like be such a hardcore this and that, even though this is the universe where you can get away with
And do it. So Danny's ruined this man. Danny
changed-
has taken the
he's changed
world's
his
best
purpose.
cop and destroyed his life fundamentally.
Or made him better. I think he's just trying not to be this reckless, violent, machismo guy in this world that he's in because he witnessed the harsh
that's all
reality
he
of the
knows.
real world.
Maybe that's how he takes the villains down because there's obviously still going to
With
be
love?
these major supervillains in that world, but
Yeah.
he just takes them down with love, takes them down with like, or maybe just like psychologically fucks them up and be like, "Who wrote you? You're not real. Someone wrote
one
you
of
and made
those.
you."
All,
Now that
all
he
of
has
your,
the power of knowledge.
all of your past like deaths and family mean nothing because you're nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, the moment where he realizes like everything that's happened to him was just crafted by writers or something like that, and he has this like real, like quintessential like epiphany moment where he's like, "Oh fuck,
I'm fake.
none of this shit matters."
right.
It's like, whoa, this movie turns real.
Character depth.
The movie
Wow.
constantly flirts with like legit pulling on heartstrings, like like this is like a film. This is a film. Like it like, and then it goes
Cinema.
like bonkers, and then it comes back to these moments where it's like, oh shit, why am I having these feels right now?
Well
Did Arnold
balanced.
Schwarzenegger make me cry?
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes.
did.
I care about these characters. I care about Jack Slater. I care about Jack Slater more than I do Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't care about Madigan.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he is sorry about his wrongdoings, and he's gonna have to like get his shit together if he's gonna help support his mother,
'Cause
who's
I was
stressed.
gonna say, does
He
he
still
learn
has
anything?
the ticket. He still has the ticket at the end.
Real quick, when Ian McKellen comes and
Oh, fuck.
we'll get
Oh.
there. But
How have we not
when
talked-
Ian McKellen tells Danny, "You should find the other half of that ticket," it cuts to the next shot is the box for the movie tickets, and Danny drop kicks that box.
He comes flying in like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Boom.
Both feet into the box.
When easily just remove the lid of the
Right.
box or some
It's
shit.
unlocked, Danny.
There's an opening, but you already drove the EMT vehicle into Nick's establishment.
Well, it's already
Right.
being shut down.
It's
remember?
already, sure, but still, unnecessary. Drop kicks that, destroys that, and conveniently finds the ticket.
Because all the tickets are gold, except for the one that
The
he's
glowing
looking
one.
for. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, when Nick gives him the ticket and hands it back, and then he rips it. I was like, you just ripped this thing you've had your entire life. Houdini gave this thing to you, and you just rip it.
Yeah.
Just rip it, and you don't even know like that it's magic, but you just do it. Apparently, in an early script, Nick, that character, was going to be the devil.
What?
Oh,
I just blew
What?
your mind. I just blew your mind because
This
I
movie
thought I was like,
now has religious overtones to it.
Right.
This is the greatest piece of cinema history.
producers were like, no, don't do that because apparently
much.
Old Nick is a British term for the devil. So like he was going to be like this devil
No,
character.
you can't make him the devil. But what if we had a manifestation of death?
Right,
That
that's probably
speaks
what
to
they
the
did.
children.
Yeah.
Oh,
Played
fuck.
by one of the most credited men in cinema history, Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Just straight up death. I was like, is that Ian McKellen on that movie poster? Oh, is that Ian McKellen with a scythe? Is that him coming out of the screen?
Yeah.
And he just like touches that cop eating a hot dog.
Right. Just got cough, just like coughs himself to death.
Yeah,
on
like,
the
oh
side.
my God.
I would hate to die choking on a hot dog
That
too.
would suck.
though.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, because you could never tell people.
It's a New York hot dog, so I suppose if you're gonna go,
Nathan's
have
right.
a-
Let's
gonna
go.
go.
Let's make it.
Jesus Christ. Best person on set?
it's a tough one. It's a really tough one, and as much as I love Arnold in this movie, I really got to give it to Charles Dance.
I knew you were gonna say him.
I really got to give
knew
it to
you were
that
gonna say
guy
it was him.
because he is such a good counterpoint to Arnold and everyone else in that film. And also, I can't remember. I mean, I'm sure he's been in other things, but this was his first big thing.
He was in Game of Thrones. Isn't that what we figured out?
Yep.
Yeah. Tywin.
Tywin Lannister.
I've only ever seen a handful of those episodes.
He's
but
incredible in
I
it.
kind of
Watch Last Action Hero instead of the rest of Game of Thrones.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I will
watch it
watch
again.
Last Action Hero.
I want it playing at my funeral, on my rooftop funeral. I want
Rooftop.
I want a TV there, rolled in, AV club style.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll bow your head and get ready to watch Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
This is in his will. We have to do it. Open your eyes, Grandma.
We're accepting no eulogies at this moment. We would rather just hear Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wake up. There's an hour and a half left.
They open the coffin and there's a TV in there, and it's just.
I want Josh there to cater on with plates with Arnold Schwarzenegger on there.
Yes.
And
do I get
everyone's
to
gonna
do?
be wearing the robes that your friend's mom made, Peter's mom made.
Lovely
Incredible.
rose.
Who's your best person on set, Christian?
I want to give it to Charles Dance, but I think I might give it to Shane Black.
oh,
The screenplay.
I wonder if he was
I
on
like the
set,
screenplay.
but it is really good. Yeah.
Shane Black and the other guy that he was working with to make the screenplay. But this was to read this on paper sounds bonkers and absolutely wild. To see how it was executed very well and very efficiently. So much happened in 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It would have been hard. Yeah, I could see how difficult it would be to keep this all together, being essentially 3 movies in one.
And making it
3
sensible.
universes. Yeah. My best person on set award is the digitalization black and white Humphrey Bogart.
Okay.
Cannot get over the fact
Yep.
that they just had to cut away from an important part of the film just to make a Humphrey Bogart joke. And it's incredible,
That joke was
Here's
like
looking at you, kid.
it was the last joke before they all looked at Jack Slater as he was clearing his desk because he was just fed up with because he lost Benedict. And it was just like, oh
Right.
fuck, you're leaving, you're done,
Like
Danny.
Humphrey
You ruined his
Bogart's
life.
just like turns and like, oh,
That looks bad. Quick shout out to Meredith or his daughter, whoever the fuck what's her name?
the character's name.
Yeah, the character's
It
name.
was like Whitney or Meredith. One was like the actress in the film, and one was the character. who
Yeah.
played the
Whitney.
daughter.
Whitney is the character. Meredith is the actress in that in the real
Right.
universe.
And guys, she's the teacher from Billy Madison.
Yes.
Yep,
yes.
and also Sonya Blade from the very first
Oh,
Mortal
that's right.
Kombat.
We did talk about that
also
one.
is
Yeah.
true.
So
That was,
she
I
was
think,
great.
her first. This was her first film too.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So like when they were saying like this is her first role, it's like it also was her first. Role.
And she had a fight scene in it.
Yes.
She had a fight scene.
Yeah.
She just was really well trained.
And Skeezy.
Skeezy.
Yes, shout out to Skeezy.
My name's
Have you looked at the IMDb of the actor who played Skeezy?
No, he has a lot, huh?
I haven't looked at like I didn't go into like what else he's done because I don't think he's done much because like the picture of him is of him now.
As an adult. Yeah.
But it's like obviously someone had like a selfie or like some kind of like Polaroid, really bad quality. Just
Yep, and it's just cropped in.
yeah, it's just
I've
like
seen it.
really close cropped in.
It's Skeezy
Skeezy.
with a double chin, is what I saw.
Same glasses.
Yep, he looks exactly the same. And he says, and when the police is interviewing him afterwards, he's like, "That's Skeezy, Skeezy, not IE,
no IE. Yeah.
no IE." And it's just he's just in the background. There's no actual shot of him. They open the door, and he's like ready to kiss. And I'm like, "Who the
his
fuck's that kid?"
Eyes look like he's in pain. Like
Yeah, does not want to kiss Meredith.
It's like, I have to do this because it's part of our sorority or whatever.
Yeah, it was a freshman sorority thing, right?
I mean, I guess. And we've already agreed that we rate this movie 5 mhm.
5 mm-hms out of 5 mm-hms.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could go more because it's like such a layered film.
Yeah.
It's like 5 mms in this universe, as well as 5 more in the parallel universe.
And also in Madigan's universe world.
Yep.
As well as all of the films that these other things, like the Seven Deadly Sins universe, where like Ian McKellen comes out of. Like we're talking like there's multiple universes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hamlet.
Yes. Oh God, I want that movie.
Which didn't the Fairly Odd Parents kind of make a joke about that too?
What?
With like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing Hamlet.
No, I don't know.
I have a vague cartoon memory of that. Well, when you write your TED Talk on Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would love to help you with that and be around and at least be in the audience to have a 2-hour like long talk from you about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
I would pay money for that.
We can try and like make some extremely convincing argument to Arnold. Like it's not too late to make this film. Mm-hmm. It's not too late. A King Lear maybe something within like.
Well, they
Arnold's...
just did 3 versions of Macbeth. Why not?
That's true.
Yeah,
anything can happen now.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I wish we could go more. There's so much more possibilities out of this movie. You know, just imagine just having that ticket and dipping your toes in any of those movies that existed in their world.
This is a great question. Let's finish it up with this. If you had that ticket, what movie would you want to go into?
Well, my first instinct is like, what if you enter this movie? Like, what does that mean? But that might be breaking the system, like rubbing a lamp and wishing for more wishes. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. So let me think about this.
Yeah.
That is a kind of a good thought-provoking question. But baddies, I'll give it to you guys as well. If you could go into any movie, let us know in the comments below.
What is it? I don't want. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite movies, but I don't want to be in that
So
world because that
dangerous,
world's fucked up.
It is.
It's messed up. Star Wars, no, because with the Republic and the Resistance, it's stressful and highly political there.
And if you pick a
Across
cartoon movie,
galaxies.
do you turn into a cartoon?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I regret asking
Or
this.
is this going to be like a Space Jam situation where like, you're human, but then you have like abilities that you discover.
Yeah. And you're trying to save your son and no, I'm sorry. That
And
was
you're the
LeBron James.
outcast, and everyone's a cartoon except you.
Maybe I would choose something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
If we're going to go down that route. Because like there were humans in that world.
And a cartoon world that was apparently very viable.
That allowed you to have sex with cartoons
Whoa.
in that world. And it was fine. That's just how it was.
I'm sorry, they were playing patty cake.
They're playing patty cake. That's true. That's true.
One of these days we should review Howard the Duck.
Oh.
Hey, that movie saved Marvel, so yeah, 100%.
And he has a cameo in Infinity War.
In Guardians.
He was in Guardians.
In
Actually, no, he was in a
Guardians and
couple
Endgame.
of
Guardians,
things
yeah,
at this
multiple
point
things.
now, right? Yeah.
Well, okay, that's a whole episode. Let's wrap this up.
George Lucas film.
What?
Howard the Duck.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's wrap this up. It's really hot in this room. We still have to.
We
get
have
an
to
episode
we
in with
gotta
Sage
go.
and Jessica.
We gotta go all the
I
way
gotta
back
text
to
them.
Studio City.
Yeah.
We're gonna go up Coalinga. We're gonna go ahead and take a left down. I don't. Can't
gotta
think of
text
it.
Wait,
them.
are you guys staying at that same place that you stayed in last time when you came down?
No,
Have you
the
stayed at
pirate themed
Wild-
Airbnb.
That
What?
was the coolest Airbnb I've ever seen
So
in my
cool.
life.
So cool. I probably should have done that. I
It was
probably
like a
should have
ship that
booked
had
that for
like
us.
dragon dinosaur sculptures, like metal
Yeah.
sculptures in the garden.
You just met me, but I love pirates. I have a pirate tattoo. Why the fuck didn't we go to the pirate place?
I don't know. Next time. There's always a next time. I forgot. I
Okay,
completely
well,
forgot.
we
I
can't talk
completely
about
forgot.
it.
Yeah. So sorry.
I'm so upset, especially with all the bullshit we went through with this hotel.
Yeah.
We should have gone to the pirate place.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
Well, let's get out of here. Josh, can you tell the listeners where they can find you on Instagram and where they can see a lot of your artwork?
You can find me on Instagram at JoshWolf2112. I'm also on Reddit, but most of the stuff I post on Instagram. I'm working on. I just last night finished the last page of a comic that I'm collaborating on. I'm doing the art. It's called Fellow Robot.
Yeah.
It's all self-published stuff, so it's going to take a sec for it to become like a physical thing. But yeah, check me out on Instagram.
Dawn of Jane.
Dawn of Jane, that's right. Also in a band, and we may be going on tour.
Hell yeah.
Sometime in I think October.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Doing the
Nice.
Four Corners tour.
Awesome,
Those
yeah.
like 4 states that like are right next to each other.
Yeah, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona.
Yeah.
I've been there.
The place where you can put your hands everywhere. And Fade Up, Fade Out. Still hop on Spotify and you could see their music
Yep.
or listen to their music. And fuck, dude, there's so much that you do. It's incredible. And it's an honor to have you on this show. So
I pet my cat and I post videos of that sometimes.
it's awesome.
So.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
An actual cat, right? This isn't a euphemism.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, it was
A cartoon cat.
It's a
Follow me.
detective.
it's a detective. The cat's detective. Hard day at work.
One of his best men.
And tomorrow he'll wake up and do it again.
You can follow me at Christian Has Asthma.
You can follow me at call_me_Jesus.
Follow the podcast at
ICBTB
ICBTB
Podcast.
Podcast. Buy our merch at ICBTB.com.
Or if you have time, type it all in. It can't be that bad.com. We paid good money for both of those domains.
Rate us 5 mm-hms on Spotify and 5 mm-hms on Apple Podcasts. And subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to see our faces as we speak on this audio platform.
And remember, guys, adopt, don't shop.
Yeah, and be happy. And
spade and neuter your pets.
Do you, Josh, anything you want to say?
Can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad.